Yup, no fear. Nope. Rich in here, LBRM. Yup, look. This rich in here, this for the ones that knew me. Y'all don't really know me, so I'm exposing the new me. See, Rich was Christian, now he's a free man. That's right, I said it, and I could give 2 fingers up if you love me or not. That's peace either way. Came in this world without you, and I'm leaving that way. No, I'm not who I was, won't be him no more. No longer in disguise, I can't do it no more. Heard y'all wanna debate, I ain't got time to waste. No time for proving you wrong, leave that to my nigga Nate. No time for
What's going on?
what it is.
As usual, we introduce the show like this. This show is centered around using your critical thinking skills and your observation skills to make sound judgments on the world of religion, spirituality,
That's right.
and the world in general.
Oh, yeah.
This show is about using your left brain, which is analytical, with your right brain, which is creative, to bring about a desired result.
Right.
With this show, we talk about the power within, the power that you possess within. We're all about understanding who you are versus who you serve. Now I can explain that a little bit.
Talk about it.
When you talk about who you serve, a lot of times we talk about a God in the sky. We speak in religious terms, and it's kind of commonplace, as opposed to understanding your deity within, the God within, the all that is.
The source of all.
So today's show is he who the Son has set free is free indeed.
I know that's right.
And we spell son, S-U-N, because that's where it all began.
They put that O in there.
They switched it up.
They switched it up like they always do. Like they still doing.
Now I wanna do something to do something that one of my teachers, our teacher, Dr. Ray Hagins, when he starts to go into things that are gonna challenge traditional thought, he'll tell you to make a circle. All right.
Circle of circumference.
And the first time I saw him do that, it's funny, the psychology behind that, because it makes you realize that our thoughts, what we know or what we think we know is limited within a circle as opposed to everything there is to know, right?
Yep.
So make a circle. The space inside this circle represents my realm of knowledge. All that I think I know about whatever I think I know is depicted right here within this circle. I must keep in mind that there is more to know than what is within the circumference of my awareness. So think about that circle. That's what you know or what you think you know. But there's way more to know outside of that.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna challenge a lot of traditional thought today.
I had a thought about the round earth.
Uh-oh.
I ain't gonna go there. That's another show. To be continued. Right.
So I want everybody to understand the original is always stronger than the copy, right?
Of course.
When you look at an original painting, right, it's usually worth more. You look at, I'm taking it back in the day before the printers we got now, when the teacher used to have to go in there and crank the little. Okay,
you
my bad.
Might be a little older than me now.
and the ink was blue. there's a story that I heard about the eagle egg,
Mm-hmm.
right? So a man was walking down the road one day, he saw an egg, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a chicken farm. Seen the egg, takes it to the chicken coop, put it with the chickens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the chicken's gonna do what it do, it sits on the egg, right? Incubates the egg. The egg hatches and it's an eagle. Now the eagle doesn't know that it's an eagle because it's with the chickens, right? And so the eagle grew up never flying, right? Because the chickens, he's just with the chickens.
Yeah.
So one day he looks up in the sky, right? And he sees a bird flying way high. And he says to the other chicken, "What is that?" Chicken says, that's an eagle. Don't worry about him. He's king of the birds,
Yeah.
king of the sky. He flies high. We can never go there. We're here, right?
I think they know where you're going with this.
We're chickens. One day, an eagle came down to get food, looked at the chicken and looked at the other eagle that's with the chickens and said, "What's going on? Why are you down here with the chickens?" Eagle's like, "Cause I'm a chicken." The eagle said, "You're not a chicken. You can fly. You can fly high." So one version of the story is that the chicken never tried to fly because he felt he couldn't fly.
He's probably scared.
He was scared because he didn't see himself as an eagle,
Nah, he saw himself as a chicken.
as a chicken.
That maybe where they got that whole "you a chicken," that fear shit.
Oh,
That's where it came from.
chicken shit.
Chicken shit. Exactly. No, I'm bullshit.
so so there's another version though where the eagle that thought he was a chicken realizes that he's really an eagle.
Mm.
And so he takes off, and he gets a couple feet up and he gets scared. He comes back down with the chickens. But he's looking at that eagle, the other eagle that came down just to grab food and go back where he was. He's looking at that. He's aspiring, like, man, I would love to do that, to be an eagle. And he told me I'm an eagle, but I'm a chicken. But I seem to fly a little higher than these other chickens. They only get a couple inches off the ground, right? So he tries again. And he tries again and he keeps going higher and higher. And he realizes who he really is. He realizes he's an eagle,
His power within.
his power within. And so he takes off and he never goes back to where the chickens are. He's up with the eagles, right? So, moral of the story is
Know thyself.
know thyself, right? Um, we challenge everybody to do the research, take the notes. Um, don't take our word for it, right?
Yeah.
Do your thing, do your research
Yeah. Don't be chicken to be yourself,
to be
your
who
real
you
self.
really are, right?
Yeah. Find your power within,
Know thyself.
and don't be afraid to not listen to others is telling you otherwise. Be a chicken. Stay down here. Don't open your mind. The same stuff that they was telling us in the beginning.
Be who you really are,
Yeah. What you
right?
feel. Yeah. Because some people actually feel that though. Like they feel like what the other eagle was telling the chicken eagle.
Yeah,
You know, they feel like, dang, you know what? It might be more to me. Like then you get afraid. Like, nah, I can't do that.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You got the other people telling you, nah, don't read other books.
yeah.
Don't listen to that.
Because anything outside of this book,
I was told that.
yeah, I just heard this a few weeks ago.
Oh, straight up.
Oh, yeah. If it ain't in this book, it ain't real.
But that's actually in, well, the Bible is a collection of books.
Right.
In one of those books, it says something like, if anybody adds or taketh away his curse, like you can only stay within that or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've been programmed to believe everything in that book. So now you done added another fear factor, right?
Yep.
That you can't even challenge what's in the book because of fear of hell and damnation.
Yep. And then it's the surroundings too. If everybody around you is like them other little chickens, you're not gonna have your own mind. You can't find your own mind because you got so many people in your ear that you can't receive any downloads for yourself or listen to the other ego, the other person that's in your life that's saying something else that you turning away like, nah. But no matter what, you really do got to go like with. And I learned this too, bro. Like for real, like some people, they just not ready. You know what I'm saying? But the people that are is who we talking to. The people who have an ego in their life that's saying, look, you better than we them egos.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you more than this. You got power with inside of yourself. Soar, know thyself, know you.
Yeah.
Dare to believe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got a rebel style, and break what you've been you know what I'm saying? People just going along with the program. Just going with it and not challenging, themselves and not challenging what they're hearing.
Yeah.
You know,
You got to challenge it.
you have to.
Challenge even what we're saying,
Please. Yeah,
right?
like I say, don't believe nothing I'm saying.
Do the research,
Yep.
right? Um,
Especially if you feel a tugging inside of you.
so do the research. Take notes. Um, double tap to the left
Oh, hold on, let me
so
say
you can
something real quick.
rewind it.
Say something real quick.
Yeah.
That was just a joke on my camera at. I don't even believe in hell, so I ain't about to be going to no that's a whole nother story. Watch episode 3. All right, go ahead.
Take notes. Um, double tap on YouTube. Double tap, go back. On the other podcast, hit that rewind 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Pause it. Do the research.
Mm-hmm.
Google.
Yep.
I know a lot of people say, oh, you one of them Google scientists. You one of them Google doctors. You one of them Google whatever.
You should be.
But there's information you can go to the library, and I recommend going to the library when you can. But this thing that you have in your hand that you make phone calls on is also a computer.
It's a computer first. The phone is an app.
Absolutely.
So everybody walking around with information, infinite information. There ain't no excuse.
No excuse.
For real.
So facts are verifiable, right?
Yep.
You can prove a fact. There's evidence. Belief is an opinion based on unverifiable information, right? So I was talking to my little brother, and I'm gonna put him out there a little bit, talking to one of my little brothers, and he is he say he's not a Christian, but it's still so close to Christianity, right? So we were having a debate, and he said, send me the information. And I said, I'm giving you the concepts, so go do the research. You can't send me the information. I said, no, stop being lazy. Go do the research. when you do your own research, right? See, if I give you the information, I am nothing but another church, another religion, right? Because I'm trying to form your mind into what I want it to be, right? But if I give you information and you go and you research that information on your own, right? Then you see the other things that's there and you look at that and then you see something else that's there and you look at that and then you put it all together and now you have something verifiable. And here's something else. When you nowadays, because there's so much information, all information is not good information. So as you do the research, I remember I remember first person that told me that Jesus wasn't real, right? Jesus never existed. And I said I was gonna prove it to him.
That was okay.
Right? I'm gonna prove it to you. Yeah, okay. He laughed at me. He laughed so hard, and we laugh about this to this day because I was for sure gonna prove it to him that my Jesus is real.
Yeah.
Right? So I found a book called The Case for Christ by Lee Strobel. Right? And I read the book and um, I was looking at the footnotes and the references and um the only case for Christ really, and it's been a while since I read the book, but really it was one piece of evidence that made me think Jesus actually existed. And it was a historian by the name of Flavius Josephus who made one tiny reference in one of his writings about the character Jesus, right?
You remember what it was? What he said?
It was just some reference to Jesus, right? Small reference. But this was written 70, 80, 100 years after. And my historians are going to correct me with the correct date or whatever and put that in the chat. But it was way after the so-called death of this character, Jesus Christ, right? So I just had accepted that because Lee Strobel said at that time people didn't lie. They wanted to be accurate. So I bought that because I really wanted Jesus to be real. So I'm saying all that to say, when you do your research, dig deeper. Dig who wrote it? Who's the author? What are they talking about? What is their angle, right? And then when you talk about the historian, now you have to study not just archaeology, but anthropology, right? Because you got to study the people at that time, right? The historical events that was going on at that time. Okay, the person, this so-called historian, Josephus, what what was going on with him, right? So you keep going and you keep going and you keep going until you find the answer. Don't stop once you see something that fits your narrative.
The key word is history. The origin of a thing. What's the name of that? Oh, the origins of Christianity
Yeah.
by
The Historical Origins of
yeah,
Christianity by
Williams.
Walter Williams. Yeah. Great book.
Yeah, extremely. Say that again. It's not just the origins of Christianity. It's the
The historical
origins of
Christianity.
by Walter Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah. So y'all write that down if you you know, don't want to be like the ego in the other story.
From the Browder Files by Anthony Browder.
Yep.
Another good book.
Anything about with Anthony Browder that has to do with the history of Christianity is great.
Ivan Van Sertima, great author. Research him, right? It came before Columbus.
Oh, you know what? Not to cut you off. what happened with your homeboy though? Like you never finished that story.
Which one?
The one that you was talking about, dude. And you was like, I'm gonna prove you wrong.
Oh, it took me, and that's actually we kind of going into the next
Oh, okay,
segment.
okay.
That's actually I stuck with Jesus, and I took it to
Oh,
him.
I know that. Okay.
Yeah, I stuck with Jesus because of Flavius Josephus and this Lee Strobel guy in his book Case for
He
Christ.
had to laugh at
He kept laughing.
you. Okay.
Yeah. And this was my journey. This was just something along my journey to get to where I am now, right? And I used to try to prove to him that Jesus existed by using the Bible,
Staying in the Bible.
staying in the Bible.
Gotcha.
And that's what made me go to the book, Case for Christ, because he said, how can you debate me using a book that I'm already telling you is flawed?
Yeah.
So you can't use that as a basis of proof because nothing in the Bible is historical fact, right?
you was uncomfortable in the mud.
Oh man, I was mad because then I told him every knee shall bow.
You joking, bro?
No, I did tell
Oh,
him.
he was cracking up.
He was laughing so hard. And matter of fact, I did it at the power plant. We was at work. I told him. I said, every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess that Jesus is Lord. He was like, so that began my journey, right? And there were things that I kept questioning, things that I thought something's just not right.
So after y'all had the conversation, even when you said that, every knee shall bow,
There's still other things.
but you still had a that.
Something
Oh, okay,
is
okay.
something ain't right. So I started reading certain things, and now I'm reading it from a different lens,
Yeah.
right? And about 5 years ago,
Mm.
he and I was working, and now because I done read some history, and but I'm still a Christian, right?
Mhm.
So we riding along, going to one of the job sites, and I'm talking, and he agreeing, right?
Mhm.
And he's like, "Damn."
You've been studying.
But I said, "You can't take my Jesus." He said,
Sound
right.
familiar?
So, um, uh, October 31st, 2020, I was listening to Dr. Ray Hagen's, right? And he did the circle, space inside this circle thing, which, like I said, has a psychological effect because it made me think, okay, all right, I'm ready. I'm about to receive some information that I may not be aware of. So let me at least listen and process it. And then he says, don't take my word for it, family. Do the research, right? So,
Hold on, before you go any further, not to cut you off. Before you go any further, I think it's important that we let y'all know that he was Pastor Ray Hagins. He wasn't always just Dr. Ray Hagins.
Pentecostal pastor,
Yeah,
right?
for
Had his
like
own church
20 years,
for a
25
long
years.
time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wrote gospel songs.
yeah. And he was like one of you. I was a Christian, but I wasn't like y'all as far as he was going off on them dudes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But just letting them know that that he just not a guy who's saying, "Well, I know this because I studied." Nah, he was like, I want to say worse than us, but he was die hard
tongue
defending the faith.
talking,
Like, yeah.
fire baptized, water baptized
Yup. Yup.
preacher. And he started coming into the knowledge or whatever. So I'm listening to him. He's talking about the origins. I forget the name of that particular video, but he talked about how Jesus came into being. He walked through the history lesson and he talked about Serapis Christus. Serapis,
Serapis Christus.
Christus, Christus.
I'm just looking at you. I can't correct you because I don't know how to spell it.
And this was 323 or 321 BCE.
And again, just type it in your computer, in your pocket, or your whatever you're using.
Now, in 332 BCE, Alexander the barbarian, Alexander the Greek, came in and conquered ancient Egypt, right?
Pimmin at the time.
That's right. Land of the black.
Yep.
And because they wanted to grab hold of this spiritual system, see, people from all over would come and learn the spiritual system, which involved mathematics, philosophy, medicine, all aspects of science, physics, right? And
we had everything.
We were it, right? And so they wanted to control it. So they came in and conquered. And Alexander died 9 years later, and his general took over. His general's name was Ptolemy the First. All right. When he took over, again, Alexander wanted to be anointed as a pharaoh, as a deity, as a god by the Kemetic priest society.
Yeah.
Right?
They weren't having that though.
But they wasn't having that. Right? So they wouldn't do it, right? And so Ptolemy, they kind of started turning the heat up where they was actually killing the Kemetic priests, and it was a sect, the Melkite Coptic Egyptians, who created this creature, Serapis Christus, which is a combination of Asar and Apis the bull, right? And these are all deities, which are representations of the one, the all, but different aspects of the creator, right?
Yeah.
So they put them together, and then they gave this creature, they made this image in the likeness of Ptolemy the First, and then they gave it aspects of Asar, right? Long story short, it takes us to years later, Ptolemy the Fifth, the great grandson, all the way to the Council of Nicaea and the four major ecumenical councils: the Council of Nicaea, the Council of Ephesus, Chalcedon, Constantinople, right? Everybody is verifiable. Look at it. And those four major ecumenical councils is where you see the transition from Serapis Christus to Isis Christus to eventually Jesus the Christ.
That's the fast forward version.
Right? The deity, the combination of the divine and the human into one, making Jesus God and the Son at the same time, right? That all came from one of those ecumenical councils.
Now, when did you start searching for that though?
That day.
After talking to your boy.
No, no. After I saw Dr. Ray Hagen's,
Oh, when he was talking about, okay, yeah.
yeah. So I did the research, and man, I couldn't stop.
Mhm.
And when I saw it, I was like, man, you can't argue with this.
Right.
And I mourned literally for 3 days.
So go that 3 days again.
Yeah.
3 days.
And
Literal tears.
yeah,
You was hurt.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not mad at my mom,
Yeah.
but just mad that we have been bamboozled,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I actually listened to another Ray Hagen's video where he talked about what shall we do with Jesus, and that kind of helped me to get over it. So
So during this 3 day period, you just while you were mourning, you were still researching.
heck yeah.
Okay.
And I never looked back.
Yeah.
I actually just began doing more and more research and understanding and um, spreading the word.
Yeah.
And it's changed some relationships in my life.
Yeah.
Um, People have distanced themselves. Family members don't know what to do
Yeah.
with this Nate.
Hmm.
It's crazy because I feel comfortable praying with them. It doesn't make me feel any kind of way that they call on Jesus.
But they feel away.
But they feel a way if I say the creator, the one, the all.
Yeah.
They feel a way if I don't say in the name of Jesus.
But you understand that though, because you was there. Because I
I
understand it.
I was never to the point where if somebody didn't call on, because I stopped calling on Jesus, I stopped using the name in my prayers um probably 3 to 4 years prior to me leaving Christianity,
Oh, okay. Why is that?
because you hear Yeshua,
Mhm.
you hear uh,
Jehovah.
Jehovah, you hear all these different, well at the time it was with Yeshua, Yeshaya, whatever. You got all these different names, and I'm like, just something don't feel right with this. Why you got different names for this person?
Yeah.
What the hell was his name?
I heard somebody recently say that. That's what woke them up. It was like, okay, hold on. There's too many names out here.
Too many names for this one person who was supposedly walking the earth.
Yeah.
How many names for Rich Parker is it? I mean, you might throw your middle name in there, but damn, it ain't gonna be
Right.
4 or 5 different names,
First
right?
of all, if it was somebody doing all of that, like you said, like the um the walking on the water and turning water to wine and the whole bread and the fish, that would be documented all over. Like you would know more about this person, a whole lot more doing these miraculous miracles outside of just that book.
Not necessarily, brother.
That's what they you heard that though.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got other things that were documented during that time, but somehow this man wasn't
You got
documented.
no, not just that though. You got people. Imhotep was what, thousands of years
Six, yeah,
before this,
yeah.
and his history is doc. You can pull. Matter of fact, I am Hotep, Imhotep. I need everybody to look that up. Just not even on no religious tip. You just need to know how powerful you are as a highly melanated person. Even if you're not highly melanated, you still need to know, because even they take the Hippocratic whatever
Hippocratic
oath,
oath,
and that's
yeah.
from Hippocrates. Hippocrates, this was thousands of years after Imhotep. Hippocrates said, "I am," and now Hippocrates was I don't know if he wasn't, if you ain't black, you white,
Greek.
a child of Imhotep. So you need to know how powerful you are.
Yeah.
Imhotep was, and I can't go down. You can look it up yourself, but he was scientist, philosopher. He was not just a physician, but it was like
He was
that.
the first engineer.
He
He
was the
was the
first of
first
damn near
doctor.
everything,
Yeah.
and like so, I think it was like thousands of different uses of plants for healing on the body, in the body, and all of that. So I'm just saying, this was he's documented, and this was thousands of years before religion was established, before they came in. Alexander the Greek came in, and and his people did what they
Now, I kind of explained my transition out of Christianity. What was your transition?
did. Man, I was already feeling like you, feeling away. Doing a little researching and studying about speaking in tongues, about tithes and offering and stuff like that. And one of my homeboys was like, "Be careful," because he was already far ahead, but he didn't talk about it a lot. He said, "Be careful." So anyway, I wasn't careful. I just kept doing it. So then when like I said in the previous episode, when my sister passed away, it took me fast forward, right? So I was in Port Huron at this studio talking to this engineer, white guy. He said this was like, I think, less than a year after my um, sister transition. And he said, we were talking about, religion, the whole back and forth. He said, "You ever heard of Zeitgeist?" And I said, "Nah." He said, "Okay, well, you should watch Zeitgeist." And so that night I went home and went to my computer and I typed in Zeitgeist. Zeitgeist is spelled Zeitgeist. Um, the word has a meaning. You could, Google the definition of Zeitgeist. But anyway, it was a documentary. It had a political side and a religious side. So I watched the religion side, and like you said, it was like so some hit. It was just, you can't deny the truth in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was researching at the same time. That, I'm telling you, if y'all look at that, it's powerful. I'm not saying watch it to get out of Christianity. It's the information is just so powerful. Don't be afraid. Don't be like that ego. Don't be afraid to listen to what people are saying, to listen to, certain things. If you feel it, keep going.
Yeah.
So anyway, it had a part in there that was so powerful. I remember the same feeling I got. My mother called me and she said, "No, Rich, well, she called me Parker. She said, Park." She said, "Park, she's gone. She's not with us." And I said, "Ma, she ain't gone." I said, "She just, you can't see her physically. She's not." But I went on later on that day, went out with my homeboy Jay, and we went to have a few drinks and eat or whatever, and it hit me that her physical was not here, and that feeling, it was like, whoa, like damn, like wait a minute, what? And something immediately came over me, like as if to say, not a voice, but a feeling, as if to say, it's okay, just it's okay, because I felt like a small half a teaspoon of anxiety. I'm not really like a anxiety type person,
Yeah.
but it was like it started creeping in, and I'm like, whoa, what is this? So that same feeling hit me when I was watching Zeitgeist, that certain part, and I was like, oh, and it hurt. I was like, whoa, wait, because I already was like knocking on the door, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I was like, dang, like what? And that feeling was like, I got you. It was like a like one of the voice. It was a feeling of a voice saying like, I got you. But I remember that pain. Like it's just that's the first one. I started, researching or whatever. And I was still like go to church though,
Mm-hmm.
here and there. That's all I knew. I go to church. And I remember being at it was a Tuesday night Bible study. And I was walking up to the door to go, and I was late because I just left work. And I went to open the door, and I think prayer started at 7, and the pastor got up like 10 minutes to 8. So it was like almost 8 o'clock. So people were already in there. So I, got my stuff, my little notebook or whatever. So I'm walking to the door, and I was about to open the door, and I put my hand on the door. The door is open. So I put my hand on it, it's about to open it, and I had this feeling come over me like, nah, like don't go in there. And I'm like, what? I'm about to go in here, so I, couldn't open it again. Like, why can't I open this door? It's not. I'm not pulling on. Like, it was a feeling like if you can imagine you about to go into a club and something to say don't go into that club, and you
Yeah.
find out that night it was shot up. It was that
Yeah.
kind of feeling like don't go in there. So
Yeah.
anyway, somebody walked up to the door, was like, "Are you going in, Parker?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll be in a minute." So they opened the door, walked in. So I tried it again, like what's going on with me? Like, what's up? So I said, man. So at this point, I'm hurt. You know what I'm saying? My eyes don't well for about 10 minutes. So
That's a long time.
yeah, because I was I didn't know what was up. So I
Yeah.
turned around, I walked into my car, and the little tear was falling, and I'm confused, like, why do I feel like this? Why couldn't I go in there? And the closer I got to my car, the lighter I felt. I never forget that. I felt light. It's just like something just kept like weight just kept coming off of me. So that's the fast forward version. That's how and I just started doing my own research as questions would pop up in my head. It's the age of technology. So I was just, looking stuff up, reading certain books or whatever.
Yeah.
And the more I would research and things started making sense to me, the smaller that was, and it didn't make any sense, and it forces you, where it forced me into knowing who I really am.
Yeah.
I was in the elementary stages of knowing my power within, but it felt better than the oppression that I
Yeah.
was in. I didn't know
Yeah.
that I was oppressed, either until I started to come out of it, you know. So that's the fast
Then
forward
you
version of my
then you became free.
yeah, yep, yeah, for sure. And then I
So
started learning about the whole meaning of, I know you about to touch on it, but
yeah.
and it talks about it in oh, it definitely talk about it in Zeitgeist. So if y'all look at that, what we about to talk about now about the sun, he who the sun sets free. If y'all watch that Zeitgeist documentary, it really breaks it down. 10 billion%. And put your seatbelt on. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so let's talk about what a myth is real quick. So, a myth is a story used to explain complex concepts using simile, metaphor, hyperbole, and anthropomorphism, right?
Yeah.
Pictures, pictograms. So, a myth is not a lie, but it is a form of, it is a method of getting a concept across, right?
Yeah.
So our people used a lot of mythology, right?
That's
A lot of
important that you say that,
metaphors.
because a lot of people think a myth is just a lie.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not necessarily the case. That's
So the sun, right? So descriptions of the sun. Sun gives life, the light of the world.
yep.
Out it we die. You can't look at its face.
hmm In the morning is when it rises, it's like as if it walks on water.
Yeah,
And in the morning it comes on a cloud, comes back behind the cloud if it's cloudy. So if you have a cloud out there, it's like on the cloud.
yeah,
You'll see the through the trees. It was the metaphor was the crown of thorns,
mm-hmm.
coming through the trees. The source of uh life
Yeah,
in this realm, period.
yeah,
You know, like you said, without it, we die. And recently learned that it uh it's a gives us vitamin D,
yeah,
which is not a vitamin but a hormone. So especially for the organic ones, the highly melanated, it feeds us.
it's
Like,
healing in it.
yeah, like our body really eats the sun. If you do your research, you will learn it. We we actually eat the sun. So
It gives energy,
gives energy. What else?
can change your mood,
Mhm.
right?
Oh yeah, 200%.
So what I love too, as we talking about the sun, I love Christians who talk about the most high God, right? Because they don't understand where they got that from.
Break it down for him, Nate.
All right. So Ra
Amen.
is the visible presence of the creator. Ra is not the sun god. Ra is a representation of the creator at its highest point in the sky, which is the most high,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Around like noon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Amen is the unseen presence of the creator, right?
Yeah.
So when you talk about the Son of God, you're talking about attributes of the Son uh, that parallel the attributes of God. Um, Here's something that'll make people ask questions. Ask your pastor, make him explain it. Malachi 4:2 says, "But those who fear my name,
Mm-hmm.
the Son of Righteousness, Son, S-U-N,
Mm-hmm.
will rise with healing in his wings, and you will go forth and skip about like calves from the stall." Why did it use the
I was about
S-U-N?
to say that. Yeah. Didn't need to hear that again. Malachi's
Yep,
SU. But most preachers in most churches, they stay in the they won't touch on that. I ain't gonna say they stay in the New Testament, but they won't touch on that. Obviously, they don't want to go there.
that's right.
Oh, um, Ra, the highest point, most high.
Mm-hmm.
Amen Ra.
Mm-hmm.
When people read that Bible and you say Amen and you saying Amen, Amen, that came from Amen.
That's right.
Amen Ra. It's all sun, not sun worship. It's the sun.
That's right.
And this was before they came and distorted it all. We this goes to the myths, but we were just showing um we were giving reverence to what gave us life. You know, if it's excuse me, if it's anything that you gonna give uh honor to or respect or just reverence or whatever, it's easier when you can see something. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to believe that it's something that's doing that's causing the flowers to bloom and doing something to your skin. You see what it's doing to the melanated, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
people and all of that. So yeah, SUN.
Now, a lot of people, when they start to do their research on ancient Kemet or ancient Egypt, they find the European explanation of ancient Kemet, which is they were polytheistic. They had many gods, right? Well, I'm gonna point you to your own Bible, um, and the many names of God in the Christian world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jewish slash Christian slash Hebrew slash Jehovah's Witness slash I don't know what else,
A lot of slash.
Mormon,
And all of
Catholic, all of that. Okay. I found 16, right?
them.
El Shaddai, Lord Almighty, El Elyon, the Most High God, or Ra, right? Adonai, Master, Yahweh, Jehovah, Jehovah Nisi, Lord my banner, Jehovah Ra,
Sit,
Lord my shepherd,
sit canoe.
Jehovah Rapha, Shammah, what you said, Sikkenu,
Yeah.
Mekadishkim,
Hmm?
El Olam, Elohim, Kana, which means God is jealous. Jehovah Jireh, the Lord will provide. Jehovah Shalom, Lord of peace. Jehovah Sabaoth, Lord of hosts. So you got 16 different names, right? For this so-called one God. But we had, I don't know, 40, 50 names that represented different aspects of God. And we were polytheistic. Make that make sense. So there's a lot of things that we need to challenge, right? Challenge it. Think. Don't just accept. Don't just, anybody that tells you to stay in one book and don't look outside that book, they mean you no good. Anybody that tries to tell you to limit your knowledge, they mean you no good. Whether they're doing it on purpose, consciously, or subconsciously, they don't mean you any good, because I want you to be all that you can be. I'm not the army, but I want you to be all you can be. Why would I want to hinder you from getting knowledge? Which is another reason why the story of Adam and Eve, when you think about it, don't make sense. When you think about a serpent, first of all, a God who's all knowing, and you combine that with Proverbs 2:6 that says, "For the Lord gives wisdom, out of his mouth comes knowledge and understanding." Right? It says, "Seek, you'll find." Right? It talks about in all thy getting, get an understanding. But in the beginning, right? This same God told Adam, y'all can eat anything out here, just can't eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And the so-called Satan, devil, right, came in the form of a serpent, which is interesting because when you look at the ancient Kemetic headdress, right, I think it was Lower Egypt, no, was it Upper Egypt, where it was the serpent.
Yeah, but
Right.
that was having to do, I think, with the Kundalini, like the coming up through the spine, that energy coming up into the pineal.
Because the serpent represents knowledge,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so this serpent tells Eve, "You won't die. Go ahead, eat of the tree." And she eats of the tree, and she convinces her husband to eat of the tree, right? And this all-knowing God, this all-powerful God, right? He, first of all, the Bible says that they heard the voice of the Lord walking, which is kind of confusing. That's in the scripture.
When in the cool of the night, the
Yeah,
of
the
the
cool
day,
of the day. They heard the voice of God walking. How can a voice walk? But okay. I digress.
You taught early not to question. You just listen and receive it. You don't want to be cursed or go to hell and think any differently.
This all-knowing God, though, didn't know where Adam was. Where are you? They hiding from God, right? And then they covered themselves. Then God asked them, "Why you cover yourself?" this all-knowing God, right? Make it make sense.
Well, this is what it is. I'm gonna just cut it. We can go back. This is what it is though. All of this was to once they did what they did to us and conquered us. The name of the game is wipe the memory, take the language, and strip them of their power. And your power lies within. We are magical beings. I know that may be hard for a lot of y'all to understand, but if you're looking for something outside of you, you're not gonna know your power. Like the sun that gives life to all is our superpower that
Yeah.
feeds everything within us. We can imagine what we want and it can manifest. Every thought, like I said before, is in the every thought has the potential to create, you know, and that could be negative or positive. It depends on what vibration you on, because everything is vibration. All of these stories that we talking about that's in that Bible is just taking people on a like a little chase, you know what I'm saying, to get you from going within. Go out and look for everything out here. Nobody is going within. Nobody knows the true. Forget religion, right? Watch this. You are living inside of an intelligent organism that is working for you every night, every day, even right now, while you listening to this, you got cells as a network moving and doing intelligently. Everybody does. Okay. And being connected to this intelligence that's working for you, you are the being that has the power to speak even to that organism and things happen for you. It's just the power within. I'm talking healing, I'm talking things that you need. Like you can go outside of you and ask for something, it'll still happen, but it happens more potent and more powerful once you realize it's you. To me, it's like this. I don't even like saying God. The source of all that is the divine architect is what I like to call it, right? It's almost like the divine architect, the source is saying, what are you doing? You are me. Do it. What are
Yeah.
you looking for?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all of these stories and everything is to take is to strip you from knowing that. And this took like thousands. This is how powerful this is. We so powerful, we so freaking powerful that it took thousands of years to deprogram our people.
Yeah.
We gotta imagine what Kemet was. But if you do research, you will figure out what it was almost like if you saw Black Panther, the movie that Marvel did, you will get a kind of an understanding, and that's just like I like saying half a teaspoon. It's like a half a teaspoon of what it really was, but it was like technologies like that you can't even understand. People came from all over to get this. Like, how y'all doing this? Like, what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the things that we can do with our minds, and then if you get with somebody else or a bunch of people, when you do it together, you can manifest. Ain't no telling what was going on. It was probably levitation, all kind of
250.
stuff
Yep.
that you're doing with the mind.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No doubt. So it's like, that's why you have so much division and confusion and people arguing. The Bible says this, and this is this, and this is the name you use, and all of that. Man, that's elementary. You know what I'm saying? It's time to it's time to graduate. If people aren't ready, okay, if you ain't ready, be led by whatever you feel like you led by.
That's okay.
But it's right. But me and people that I vibrate with, and the people who are listening to this who know that there is more, need to know that you are powerful. You are everything. Literally. Like you got everything is made of atoms, so are you, but you're the space between the atom. Come on, man.
You are everything and
Everything,
is you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's real talk.
Yeah.
The more the more you research and the more you let that sit, you will understand what that really is. Even that movie The Matrix, like Sophia Stewart, she's very gifted. She got it. You know what I'm saying? But that's what that movie Matrix was really about. Like the one, you know what I'm saying? Well, if you remember in that movie at the end when he did like this, like everything moved with him like he was doing it. That's the
Yeah.
example of what we are. And then in that movie, the spoon bent, and the little boy was saying, you will realize that you're not bending the spoon; it's you that is bending. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's how this is. They're not just coming up with this stuff in their mind.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Just come.
No.
This is what it really is. But people are so Santa Claus Elementary, and it's not their fault. You know, it's just the program and that they can't get it. They don't have a desire to stretch their wings like that ego.
People have a problem with saying I am God,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even though the Bible says ye are gods, right? And you could play with the G. Don't none of that mean nothing. Big G, little G. What
I don't
that
like.
don't mean nothing.
I don't even like fooling with letters and definitions, man. I don't. That distract. They stripped us all. This, like I said, it's thousands of years of stripping us from stuff. We are more than the language that they gave us, more than
But
the definitions that they gave us. We are the being that is within. It's almost like imagine a diamond or like just something shining that's infinite and has all of this power and that came from the source of everything, and you're a piece of that. And then you in this flesh suit that stink. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even just talking about shit. If somebody just get cut open and you smell that, it stinks. You in this earth suit, you eating meat, you eating dead stuff, you eating from the ground. You know what I'm saying? But really, you are an infinite, powerful being underneath all of that. So this is what's doing it. It ain't the letters and the words cannot explain what that is. The letters and the words and the definitions are elementary
look, watch how
to what you really are.
watch how even in saying ye are gods, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I got people who say, yeah, yeah. Little G though, right? Look at how you minimize yourself. I'm not the big G. I'm the little G.
That's man.
That's so crazy, right? So now you've minimized yourself. You've minimized your own deity. You've minimized your authority and you've given it to something outside of you in the sky that you cannot see.
Yep.
There is an unseen presence of the creator, but there's also a visible presence of the creator,
Absolutely.
right? What is the language of the creator? My friend that was telling me, the first one tell me Jesus never existed. I stumped him with this one.
Mhm.
What's the language of the creator?
What?
It's an easy one.
What?
Vibration.
Oh, okay, I'm thinking you were in the exoteric still.
Yeah, that's what he thought too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No, it's vibration,
Yeah. For sure.
right?
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
everything vibrates.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the
You
language.
did that at elementary school though. You saw how vibration work, what attracts without it being connected. You know what I'm saying? Everything does that. and it really determines what vibration you on to bring you the same level of vibration in your surroundings, in your now moment, wherever you are. Everything that you see every day, that you whatever routine you on, you brought that to you because you're on that vibration. If you want something to change the vibration. That's what it is, because everything is vibration.
Yeah.
Again, and if everything is vibration, including you, you are everything, and everything is you.
Yeah. And then how do you change your vibration, right? So we talked about this in one of the other episodes. Changing your vibration starting with your breathing,
Hmm.
right? You start with taking a moment. First of all, as we learn more about our power and our deity, right? You start to pay attention to how you feel.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with a brother who um, didn't understand when I say you move off of how you feel.
Hmm.
When I say you move off of how you feel, you pay attention to how you feel, right? You pay attention to the emotions. Am I angry? Am I sad? Am I happy? Right? Do I have joy? Do I have sorrow? What's really, you pay attention. I'm irritated, right? I feel welcomed, right? All of those feelings, you pay attention to it because they guide you and they lead you. So his response was, then you saying as a man, we move off emotion, that we just be emotional? So there's a difference. And I made him define emotional. He said acting out of emotions. It's not what I'm saying. Emotional is you feel the emotion and you act, right?
Yeah.
Based on that emotion, as opposed to recognizing that emotion and letting it guide you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If I walk in a room now, I pay attention to the atmosphere.
Hmm.
When I think back on a bad decision that I made, and I remember driving up to Essexville, Michigan. I remember driving onto the property. I remember being in the room, and I remember I said, something just don't feel right. But I've been typically the only black man in the room a lot, right? And I'm like, well, this can't be no different. And I ignored that feeling that said, it wasn't words.
Hmm.
It was a vibration.
Yeah.
It was a feeling. Something here is not right.
That's the emotion you was talking about,
That's the emotion,
not emotion. No.
not emotional.
Emotion, no, is like jealous, like how God, like I say, God is.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
emotional.
gotcha.
Emotional is I'm angry, so I punch you in the face.
Yeah.
That's
Or I'm
emotional.
angry, so I'm
Yelling and cussing and fussing
sending you to hell.
and
Oh, I will say my bad, but I ain't doing that no more.
exactly.
That's
That's
to me,
emotional.
that's the weakest emotion to me is jealousy though,
Yeah.
which is crazy
Well, because
because
no, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say because it says that God is a jealous God. I'm like, I said that before. You know what I'm saying?
But watch this. You said it's the weakest emotion because jealousy is rooted in fear,
Absolutely,
right?
but ain't no fear and damn. There we go again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
it's jealousy is rooted in fear.
It's a lot easier knowing that the power lies within.
It's a lot easier. It's
It's a
it's
hell of a lot,
freeing.
my nigga. It's when you find something that that you. I'm gonna go street real quick. You know, for example, you can hit a joint and then you like, oh man, this is you talking. It's like a natural thing to just share. I'm not promoting. I'm just saying like you know what I'm saying. And you like here you go like
Promote.
Why you hand it? I mean, I will promote, just not right now in this show. But right now we're gonna stick to the so you pass the joint, and because you like, oh man, you know what I'm saying, it's a natural reaction to, or you could be like, oh man, this right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You was like, Rich, you try that, you want to share it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's that's what we talking about.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah. We touched on a lot, right?
time is flying.
Yeah, time is definitely flying. I will say this. Do the research, right? One of the well, a few things we didn't touch on yet, but I really want people to do the research on, and I'm going to use the Greek names: Osiris, Isis, and Horus. Now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna use the real Kemetic names: Asar, Aset, and Haru. Right? Do the research, right? Because we just came out of the so-called Christmas season, right? Which is supposedly the birth of the Son of God, right?
Son of God.
But it really is the birth of the Son of God, right?
Yeah. And it in that zeitgeist, people, that ZEITGEIST, it touches on that too. The whole, you're gonna learn about anthropomorphication in there. You're gonna learn about winter solstice, what the sun really is and what it does and how it rises, and it came back on the third day because it stays in the northern hemisphere and in one spot for 3 days and comes back. You know, you see all of that. This is why we drew, our ancestors drew myths, so you would know, like, you can change language, but pictures and drawings on in stones, you can't fool with that. They tried, and they couldn't do it. So
Yeah, because it's and they wrote it everywhere,
yeah, so
right? So check it out. Look it up. The depictions of what our ancestors explained is everywhere. When you look at the Washington Monument, right? Look at the Washington Monument, and that is a symbol of the resurrection
of Asar.
of Asar,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Because and can you pull that picture up? It
The Tekken is the monolith.
yeah, because Set,
Mm-hmm.
Asar's brother, was jealous of him. Um Asar introduced the written word of God, the Mejuneter, theology, agriculture. And again, this is all myth, right? The first to establish a nation state, traveled to spread the knowledge, right? Brother was mad. So his brother, Set, wanted to discredit him. So he went around saying, do as thou wilt, right? Do whatever you will. Don't worry about this spiritual stuff, right? So long story short, he caught up with his brother, killed his brother, cut him into 14 pieces, right?
That's how the story goes. It's not literal. Yeah.
So the 14th piece he threw in the Nile, right? Never to be found again. Okay. So Aset, his wife, they had never consummated their marriage because when they married, Asar went off to do his thing, spread the knowledge, right? So they never had consummated the marriage. So not only was she grieving her husband, but she was also grieving the fact that she had never consummated the marriage with him. So she found all but one piece. So she found 13 pieces of his body, right? She put the body together, um, and she wept and she grieved, right? The spirit of Asar um, came alive and impregnated Aset,
Yeah, the Immaculate Conception.
the Immaculate Conception.
Yeah,
9 months later, she gave birth to Haru,
yeah,
right? Um, so when you look at that story, right, that is the original triad,
yeah.
right? Father, mother, and child.
Yeah.
All right. So you have divine masculine and divine feminine. And what I love about it, and that's why when you look at the Bible and you can quote a scripture or whatever, and there's truth in it, and you can find different uh 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 lessons from one scripture is because they got that from us. They just changed the names and twisted it because there's so much from a story that our people told.
Yeah.
There's many lessons to be learned. So while they're explaining astrology, when they talk about the resurrection, right? When you talk about the resurrection on the third day, we're really talking about the winter solstice,
Yeah. All that means something.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
But you also got other lessons in there, right? I could just see one right now, um, the power that a woman holds,
All
right?
day. Yeah.
Um, the power of the love of a man for his woman to come back alive and be moved by her tears to impregnate her, right? So, um, he who the Son has set free
It's free indeed.
is free indeed.
And when you free, you realize that it's not that so-called deity that's doing these things for you. Now, I'm not saying you don't have any outside invisible help, true, but you can also bring things towards you because you're vibrating. We all are. You know what I'm saying? And that's not just on some magical for, ooh, I can, you know, think of numbers and I can, attract this wellness into my life. Yes, you can, but
Yeah,
it depending on how you vibrate, you can vibrate negatively too and attract that as well. So when Nate was saying, um, y'all gotta be be aware of your emotion, that's what he meant by that. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Because it's
yeah.
so many, it's a lot of different stories that talk about celebrities talk about things that they have done positively and negatively. I remember I was listening to an interview or some show, and Big Sean, the rapper, was saying that Snoop Dogg was telling him that while he was on trial for murder, he was doing that song "Murder Was the Case" that they gave me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then what else? What you think about like Pac not being, he leaving early at 25, and he always talked about death and his vibration. Even when he got out of jail, he went to death row. That's a vibration on its own.
Yeah,
And he will always talk about. He said, one of the first songs that he did, I remember it was like in '93, was a song called "I'm Representing" on the Strictly for My Niggas album. I think I brought that up before. He was like, uh I represent the real because I'm ELG clock to the day they kill me. I'm represent, and then shed so many tears.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Remember the lyrics to that?
yeah,
There was no mercy on the street, couldn't rest, barely standing about to go to pizza, screaming peace. Till my soul was deleted, couldn't see it. How the mind full of demons trying to break
break
free.
free.
Planting seeds and they had sparking the flames. My brain like a match, such a dirty game. It's like talking about getting murdered.
Yeah,
So it's like you painting these pictures,
yeah,
even I heard the artist Young Thug in an interview one time. He said he remember riding down. He was in New York listening to his music, and the song was like, the song said something about when I'm in now he didn't have his stuff. He's like, in my Bentley with every finger with a ring on, or rings on every finger, or something like that. And he was like, whoa, what the? Now he was in New York at the time listening to his old music, and he was actually in that car with the rings on. You know what I'm saying? We don't realize we are doing a lot of this stuff.
We doing all of it.
You know what I'm saying? And Jim Carrey, you could pull him up.
Yeah.
His stories. Like, he
Walking
wrote a
around
$10
with a
million
$10 million
check in his, you know what I'm saying?
Kept it
Wrote
in
it
his
out to
wallet.
himself. Yeah.
Yep.
It goes on and on. And but like I said, it goes negatively too. Because B.I.G. Notorious Big. He had 2 albums, Ready to Die and Life After Death. And unfortunately, he left early too.
And Life After Death came out after he died.
Wow.
Right?
Yep. It's like remember I said speaking from bad emotion, negative outcome right back. We ignore that fact. We notorious for that.
Yeah.
Gotta be honest. Don't think Christopher Wallace was ready for that.
That's right.
Life after that ponders power of words in retrospect.
Yeah.
I'm more like B.I.G. 3134, seeing where he at.
Yeah.
Power of meditation had his music playing on manifestations. But all I'm saying is we're doing this.
Yeah.
So watch your vibration and your emotions, because you're bringing all of this to you. And you be like, man, I was just thinking, like I said before, damn, I was just thinking I was going to get into a little fender bender. And then, yeah, you thought it had an emotion from it, and it happens.
Yeah.
But, just watch your thoughts, watch your emotions, study for yourself, people.
Watch even, I mean, we all feel depression. Watch your feelings, right? I think I said this on the episode as well. I lost a good friend of mine, man, in October. And the last post I saw of him, I never forget, man. I woke up late Friday, early Saturday morning, and I saw his post, and it was Everyday Struggle by Biggie, which is on the Ready to Die album, right? And the words is, I don't want to live no more. And see, sometimes I hear death knocking on my front door, right?
Yeah, it's that vibration.
And I was like, literally, I remember thinking, like, it was like, had to been like 1, 2 in the morning. I remember like, I had to cut it off. I couldn't listen to that, right? And I was like, damn, I got to call my brother. I got to call him, man. Like, that vibration just didn't feel right. And I never got a chance to talk to him because he passed within 24 hours of posting that.
Damn.
Right? Because he said in the post, when he posted, he said, theme music for the day. Right? So even when you're depressed, when you're carrying a heavy load, you got to transmute that energy into something positive. You got to stop and think and breathe. Right?
Yep.
Relax, relate, release. So, I hope that everybody got something out of this podcast today. We touched on a lot of different things. We talked about your power and your deity. We talked about being free to analyze, being free to think, being free from the programming, and nobody can free you from the programming but you.
That's right.
You have to want to expand your mind and your knowledge, right? You can be, you can practice cognitive dissonance all you want to, and if that's what you want to do, that's fine. I'm okay with that, right?
All right.
I'm okay with that because that's you.
Oh, you saying for them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's you, right? If that's what you want to do and you comfortable and you don't want to move outside of that, that's fine. But it's like being that chicken, right? Never recognizing who you really are.
If they listening all this time, they ain't comfortable.
You can't be comfortable.
Not listening all this time. Shout out to y'all that's still listening. We were where you are. So, we could be an example. I'm more happy than I ever been.
I mean, literally, when the Son set me free, I mean, I felt free, man. Like I said, shout out to Dr. Ray Hagins because
Yeah.
I mean that man, I know he knows his mission, but I don't think he really knows. Like, when you're impactful and you're speaking to people, you just know that this is something that you gotta do, right? But you don't never really understand your reach, right?
Yeah.
You there's people that like I've never met him,
Hmm.
right? He doesn't know how he blessed me,
Yeah.
right? Just by speaking the truth and being authentic, right? Because, like you said, we've got a similar background,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So when you hear somebody who has a similar background, I told my friends and family, I said, listen, y'all all know me, right? I'm not easily swayed by nobody. Anybody who knows Nate King knows I'm going to do what I want to do, right? You could be telling me that it's a bus coming and it's going 70 miles an hour. But if I want to cross that street, I'm going to cross the street.
Yeah.
That's because that's what I want to do,
We
right?
alike like that. Yeah.
So if if I'm not easily swayed and everybody knows how deep in Christianity I was, or I would pray at the drop of a dime. I mean, I speak in tongues as the Spirit of God gives the utterance,
Hmm.
right? Um, I've preached before. I've got up and talked to the people, right? Remember one time talking to a women's mission,
Hmm.
about 10 women. And I got up and before I got the first full sentence out my mouth, they were weeping, right? And as I continue with my message to them, I watched them release, right? And then by the time I got done, they were built back up. So I've seen this, right? But it's the same thing now. I'm just not saying Jesus,
Hmm.
right? Because I know my mission is to uplift, right? I know that's one of my missions is to free the minds of the people by giving them the knowledge, by motivating them and encouraging them to know who or what you are. What are you?
Power from the source of all that is, it lies within. Boom. There you go.
Spirit
Hmm.
having a physical experience,
Yeah.
right?
Be that first spirit, soul, having a human experience. All this will make sense once you wake up, man. Like start to wake up. And we ain't saying we got all the knowledge either, and we ain't not saying that we all woke.
No, it's a
You know,
journey.
yeah, we still growing, still learning. That's why
Still
we
learning.
encourage everybody to do your research. You know, like we doing research. We just either planting seed or watering.
Listen, a man that knows he knows nothing at all.
I don't even know what you just said. Left brain, right mind.
All right, everybody, check us out on all the podcast platforms: Apple, Spotify, um,
YouTube.
YouTube. Right, we're on YouTube. lbrmpodcast.com. Check us out.
Click like, subscribe, share.
We want you to like, subscribe, comment, share.
Thank you to the people that's been doing that too. That's sharing and subscribing and all that. Appreciate y'all.
Definitely, definitely. And you know, these episodes, I know they're long. We've gotten some feedback that, man, I can't listen to an hour and a half, but then you go sit in church for 4 hours, right? You'll go sit and listen to the pastor preach hell and damnation, right? For 4 hours. But you can't sit and listen for an hour and a half to some knowledge that's going to help you, knowledge that you can listen to today, and tomorrow you can use it to help you, right? It's not like on Sundays where you feel good and you shout and you jump and you jit, right? And the music playing dun 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 dun.
This ain't any longer compared to some people. If you go to YouTube though, you know, we breaking them down, you know what I'm saying, for YouTube. But if you listening on a podcast outlet, it don't, that's what they want anyway. Some people, they want to hear the long ones, you know.
So everybody, we appreciate you. We thank you for your support. Continue to like, subscribe. All right. And we'll see you on the next show.
One love.
Yeah. Yup. No fear. Nope. Rich in here. LBRM. Yup. Look. It's rich in here. This for the ones that knew me. Y'all don't really know me, so I'm exposing the new me. See, Rich was Christian. Now I'm a free man. That's right, I said it, and I can give 2 fingers up if you love me or not.
That's peace either way. Came in this world without you, and I'm leaving that way. No, I'm not who I was. Won't be him no more. No longer in disguise. I can't do it no more. Heard y'all wanna debate. I ain't got time to waste.